Alright everyone, Debbie Wasserman Schultz's IT aide is in some real hot water, and I think the Democrats right now are more nervous than they have been in the past, because it looks like the dawn of major political scandal, assuming that we can get any accountability at all. Now here's the problem in DC. Because of the deep state, which isn't so much a sum total that's actually cobbled together, but really separate compartmentalization within the government. It's more complex than just, oh, there's some council of Illuminati controls everything. It's more like a bunch of different backstabbers have their own agendas, really want to take command of different bureaus and groups and congressional offices, and they constantly, fuck around with one another. But generally they work towards the same goal of centralization and tyranny because it tends to benefit them. They're all corporatists, because if they weren't, they wouldn't be getting that sweet corporate cash. In the wake of super PACs existing at all, it's basically the only way they can be in office unless they were very well known to begin with, didn't have to raise money, or they were independently wealthy like Trump. Imran Awan, one of Little Debbie's IT aides there, and apparently his brother too, was improperly using information within the sort of democratic offices. That is, this IT aide was apparently getting money from Pakistan and Iraq. Wife tried to flee, was allowed to go. He tried to flee, was detained, and now he's got like an ankle bracelet on. So it's going to stop him from fleeing, by the way. He'll fucking take it off and put it on a dog, and then he'll like go to Mexico or something, and you'll never hear from him again. And the DNC will help him to escape if they think it's in their best interest. So you better watch his house pretty well, DC police. You better keep a double guard on there just to make sure, because he'll be tunneling out. They'll airlift him out via drone if they can stop a major scandal from erupting. But he was getting like six-figure sums and sending six-figure sums. Was improperly using info. It was known that he was doing this a long time ago, and Debbie Wasserman Schultz only fired him very recently. By the way, you might as well have not even bothered, because then that gets it into the news even more. Again, Debbie Wasserman Schultz is shit at strategy. She was the one running the Democratic Party during the whole, hey, let's screw Bernie and force him to raise money for his opponent period. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these Sanders progressives jump down the throat of the DNC and think this looks fishy too. And they're all further left than Hillary Clinton. Like, they pathologically hate the neoliberals at this point for shafting their candidate. Good, it helps get a little bit of accountability going. Then we've got Scaramucci there. And he comes out and makes some cryptic comments about contacting the FBI and links Priebus, no less, in his comment on Twitter. And so people are thinking, oh, is there some sort of collusion there with White House leaks and Priebus backstabbing people within Trump's inner circle? And I think the answer is yes. I called it how I saw it about a rinsed penis a long time ago. Of course, he's not even a rhino. He's just a globalist. He doesn't even care about the partisan issue. He'd probably become a Democrat if they'd pay him more. As far as Debbie Wasserman Schultz's IT people, it looks like their primary job was to get all sorts of dirty info and send it to other countries for money or something like that for the Democratic Party. It looks like they were selling state secrets or something like that. These were people who were actively in office getting their material gone through by people who are from one of the countries, I believe, listed on Trump's a travel ban, actually. Isn't Pakistan on that list? I wonder why he chose those specific states. Seems to have something in common with Huma Abedin too. I wonder why these states are on here. I wonder why it was so mysterious to people. Well, why aren't these other Islamic nations that are more geared towards actually terrorism on the list? Maybe it has something to do with people working for the Democratic Party. Have we thought of this possibility? Makes it easier to keep them from fleeing now, doesn't it? Oh, yeah, you're not going to be able to come back from this country that's feeding you six-figure sums on a regular basis. I wonder why. And here you have the story of a part-time worker supposedly getting 150 grand. Part-time IT work, 150 grand. Wow, that's a sweet job. Real sweet job, especially when for months you've been under active investigation for wrongdoing and you're still employed. Wow, that everybody could get such fringe benefits. So we don't necessarily know a huge amount right now. about what specifically went on. We know that it's fishy. We know it's a scandal. How large is the scandal, and if anything is going to be done about it, that escapes right now our knowledge. And it could be very, very quick that we find out if tweets by Trump and Scaramucci and some of these others, and some speculation about the real goals of the Mueller investigation are any indicator. If that's all real, and not just a theater show, not just a distraction, not just propaganda or a stratagem employed to take heat off of the Russian bullshit, if that's all real, I think we're walking into the biggest political scandal of U.S. history. Like, it'll dwarf Nixon, it'll dwarf Watergate. And it won't be Trump at fault, it'll be the Democratic Party. And probably a bunch of Republicans too. Essentially everyone that's facing off against Trump and holding court with the media. And according to WikiLeaks, of course, we know that they directly coordinate. The media was in lockstep with the DNC. The DNC also shafts outsiders. We know that there's some shit going on in the Democratic Party, and it extends beyond the Democratic Party. Trying to say, by the way, and I point this out, you need to stop saying, oh, those dirty Democrats. It's not just the Democrats. They are in league with a bunch of Republicans. Have you not seen what McCain has been saying and doing now for many months? Or Rinsed Priebus, Rinsed Penis, I call him, and some of these other folks? Do you not see that they seem to be working for the same goals? Why do you think that is? And then we find out that people are getting money from the Middle East. I wonder why some of these people oppose the travel ban. I wonder why those specific countries were on the list. Maybe there was a foreknowledge of some places that people were actually working from and had loyalty to that don't involve even like the Saudi Arabians or something. Maybe we might be looking at the uncovering of the deep state that exists, for all we know. But we've got to wait and see. Even odds are that this all gets covered up and nothing comes of it. It'd be like Hillary Clinton's private servers. She broke the law. She knew she was doing wrong. James Comey knew this full well too and told us all this, but couldn't even prosecute her. He's like, well, what am I supposed to do? She's a presidential candidate. I don't really want to cause a civil war. It's not exactly on my to-do list for the day. I'm just going to take a back seat and warn the American voters a couple times, including a few days before the election, hey, Hillary Clinton's crooked. But I can't say that fucking openly because I'll get in trouble for it, and I'm worried she might win and then she might make my life living hell. So I'm just giving you all a warning in really vague terms, but anyone with any intelligence can figure out what the hell I'm saying. That's what James Comey did. That's why the Democrats hated him at the time. Then he comes out, deflects off on Trump, with a total nothing scandal that involves memos he can't even produce, and everybody goes haywire, and then all of a sudden they love him again. Oh, don't can poor Comey. Yeah, we called for his head a month ago, but now things are different. Trump's in office. Oh no, evil, scary fascist. I wouldn't be surprised if the fact that Trump doesn't really seem to care about his approval rating or about obstruction is because he already knows all of this dirt because he spent 25 years rubbing elbows with these people. I think he knows how deep the rabbit hole goes and what these politicians and their allies really get up to, especially in the fiscal game, because of course they probably partner with the same Russians they now deride and invested in Trump's own properties. You think they don't use slush funds for such things? You think that they don't use some local organization to funnel money overseas to make investments indirectly that'll benefit them in order to get campaign contributions of greater value down the road? You think, why wouldn't they do that? It would be a sound campaign strategy, and it's technically kind of sort of legal. You know, if you uncovered that it was happening, it would be illegal, but nobody can uncover it. Well, everybody benefits, including a bunch of Russian oligarchs. You think Trump doesn't know this stuff goes on? He spent years and years partying with these people. He donated to these people. He got investments from these people. He held meetings with these people. He's been in bed with these people, maybe literally over time. So why would I assume that he's ignorant of all these things going on? Maybe he's really that pissed off at it. Maybe Obama's joke pushed him over the edge. Maybe it was 9/11. Maybe it was, he discovered that his ex-wife was banging some politician. Who knows exactly what the cause was? I think he's headhunting these people. And I think if that's actually the case, and this isn't just political theater, he'll be successful, honestly, in doing so. It's beginning to look a lot like an apocalyptic sort of situation for the U.S. political system. And it doesn't even involve Trump mobilizing his Boy Scout brown shirts. Wow, who would have thought a few days ago that that could possibly be the case? I thought he was Hitler and stuff. That's about all. Peace out.